News Center, driven by Don Joseph Toyota in Kent. This is 19 News.
They had told us everybody and anybody was there at the house, at the scene. Family members, friends. The only one that never showed up was George, and that was odd.
19 investigates what does it take to catch a killer. A mother and her 2 daughters brutally murdered in their own home. A family friend goes on the run and suspicion grows.
Yeah, that man later convicted of the crime. How did a decades-long friendship take a deadly turn? Well, we've been covering this story for more than a year. And now investigator Sarah Goldenberg gives us an inside look at the entire police case file. It's a 3-part investigation you'll see only on 19 News.
I wish I wouldn't have opened the door because I can't even see it.
June 11, 2017, a grisly discovery on Ridge Road in North Royalton. 42-year-old Suzanne Taylor and her daughters Taylor, 21, and Kylie Pfeiffer, 18, found dead in their home by Taylor's boyfriend, Dale.
The house was silent, the lights were on. All the cars were in their exact spots.
Nearly 30 hours before this, Suzanne calls her ex-boyfriend, Scott, asking him to head to South Park Mall in Strongsville for the girls.
They had a flat tire there, and they said, "Can you come and help?"
With his attorney by his side, Scott walks detectives and the FBI through the day. He gets to the mall at 3. Minutes later, Suzanne calls.
She said, "Don't get the tires fixed. Send the girls home. I'm not feeling well. Don't come."
She says a good Samaritan helped fix their tire. Scott never sees Taylor and Kylie. They drive home. He texts Suzanne. He's on his way over.
So we bought her flowers, and then we drove over, and I pulled in, and then the kids and I all got out and went up to the door. And I usually just walk in, and it surprised me because all the cars were there, plus George's van was there.
It was quiet. Their dog wasn't barking.
And I was just like looking around going, this doesn't seem right to me. And again, I should have done something.
Scott leaves, thinking Suzanne's high school friend George Brinkman must be over. That brings us back to Sunday.
I couldn't get a hold of any of them, which was very strange.
And Dale at their front door that's usually unlocked.
It was locked, it was deadbolted, which is only done from the inside.
The warning signs are piling up, so he picks the lock.
How long did it take you to open it? 3 seconds. I just slid in the pick and it opened right up.
Dale walks into the house with Scott on the phone and into Suzanne's bedroom, where he discovers their bodies.
Kylie wearing a teal blue shirt, her arm and leg were hanging off the side of the bed.
Dale shows police texts and calls on his phone, then calls George as police listen in.
Hey, George.
Hey.
How you hanging in there, man?
I can't, dude. You're the only one who's in there for me. I don't know it, dude.
Dale asks if anybody stopped by when George was at Suzanne's house that Saturday.
Nobody knocked on the door.
At like 4:30?
Me, 4:30.
Scott said he rolled up about 4:30 and he said your van was there but you weren't in the van.
What the hell was that? Was that you?
That's my phone going off. People are texting me with condolences.
Dale keeps his cool as investigators pass him notes with questions.
I'm just trying to get a timeline mentally for myself.
I'm at the top of the list because I don't know if I was the last one to see them. What if I would have stayed in business a little longer, but things have changed?
After Dale hangs up and they go over a few more things, 2.5 hours of questioning lead to this.
Did you have anything to do with anything that went on over there?
No, I did not.
North Royalton police detectives Floanne Ribicki and this undercover narcotics officer crossed Dale off their list of possible suspects.
Some of our big breaks came from Dale.
But something isn't adding up.
George's or Scott could be part of this.
I don't know, their stories are complete opposite.
A profile of George is taking shape, and Suzanne's boyfriend Scott is convinced.
I think George did it. I have no doubt that George did it.
I think he's crazy. He just never seen, he always just jumps to beat their and it just like snaps.
Scott shows his cell phone to police, providing texts and calls, and his children give him an alibi for the murders.
You realize you're a witness, right? We don't... No, you're not a suspect, right?
Scott realizes he may have been at Suzanne's house at the time of the murder.
Can you tell me what the time of death was? Was I there with my kids when this happened? Did they suffer?
What happened, Scott, was unthinkable. So the red flags that you talked about, you see them as red flags in hindsight now.
Police can't get a hold of George themselves.
I called him at first and it sounded like someone picked up, and then they hung up.
And something else makes them focus on him as a suspect.
They had told us everybody and anybody was there at the house, at the scene. Family members, friends. The only one that never showed up was George, and that was odd.
At that point, it was, all right, George is our number one suspect.
Where is George Brinkman? And could the murder of a couple 40 miles away be connected? It won't be easy to track the main suspect down. I'm Sarah Goldenberg. That's next on To Catch a Killer, tonight at 6.